This is an article from NBC News. It says the number of sailors who deserted the Navy more than doubled from 2019 to 2021, while desertions in other military branches dropped or stayed flat, pointing to a potential Navy-wide mental health crisis amid a spate of recent suicides, according to experts and federal statistics obtained by NBC News. Among a fleet of more than 342,000 active sailors, there were 157 new deserters in 2021, compared to 63 in 2019 and 98 in 2020. Navy data shows the total number of deserters who were still at large in 2021 grew to 166 from 119 in 2019. Most of them were 25 and younger. So, so that right there, you know what I mean? Like deserters. We actually experienced one. We had somebody leave and not come back. You know what I mean? On our ship, we had somebody just leave. But it's a lot going on right now that we need to figure out. It's a lot going on that we need to figure out, and it's a certain age group. You know what I'm saying? That we need to focus and figure it out with. It said 25 and under.
Yeah, I tell you this, man, is that I never looked at it like that, man, until I was looking at this article. I was looking at some of that news too, man. But like feeling trapped, and trapped in a contract.
Yeah.
I never like looked at it as that, right? You got a 17-year-old kid signing a contract to be in the military for 6 years, 4 years, whatever it is. And I always looked at, I signed it. I got to honor my contract, blah, blah, blah. I did that. You know what I mean? That's what I did. And that's how I always looked at it. But, is it a way we can write these contracts and things don't, everybody ain't meant for the military, man.
Yeah.
And we also, we it's built in us, the people, I'm gonna say us, meaning the lifers, that you sign that freaking contract. You know what I mean? Do your time and get out.
Yeah, I mean that's honestly not built in me. But
well,
we disagree there.
Yeah.
So we on two different sides of the spectrum, which is good. I don't mind being on this side of the spectrum. It's a lot of lifers, a lot of people that probably listen to this podcast and listen to me that won't agree with me on this. They will agree with you, and I understand that.
Yeah.
But it's not built in. I don't not get somebody making a decision to get out before that contract expires if they realize that this is not it for them. Deserting, I don't know about that. My mind is not there as far as like desertion.
So say what you said again about the part about the getting out.
If I sign up for 5 years and in 3 years, I'm like, I don't want to do 2 more years of this shit. Then I'm not opposed to somebody finding out how to get out. Like, I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to it's your life. That's 2 years of your life, your sanity, your mental health, and a whole bunch of other stuff. If you realize that, if you come no, you signed a contract, you have to do this for 2 more years. I don't necessarily buy into that. I don't know a way to fix it. I don't know a way to around it, the legitimate way, but I don't buy into this is a volunteer service. You volunteer to come here, is it like, but it's not, you can't get out on your own, like kind of like accord. I understand why we can't. I get everything. But what I'm just saying is, in my own crazy, weird head of mine, I don't think somebody should ride out something just because they signed a contract. It should be ways out of your contract. You know what I mean? If you can make that choice, like, can I buy myself out? Can I do this? Can I do that? Like, I'll get out, I'll get a job and give incremental payment to like give y'all the money back for these 2 years that, I'm wasting of yours, but I'm done with this. This is my life that I want to so that's my thing. And I
but and the thing about it is, man, like when I look at it like that, and I agree with you when it comes to, it should be ways to get out of the contract if you don't, it ain't for you and all this stuff. But what I'm getting at is, it's not. You know what I mean? It's not a way to do that. So when we talking to our sailors, we can't say, hey, you done 3 years. Let's figure out a way that you can get out of this because you don't want to do it no more. No, we got to tell them, hey, you got 2 more years on your contract. You got to finish those. You got to finish those 2 years. If it was a way I can tell them something differently, I would tell them something different. But I have no other thing to tell them. Like, if mental health and all that's different. We'll send them over there. I mean,
what that mean for their life though? Like, all right, Mark, for instance, and let's say Mark signed a 6-year contract, and in 3 years, Mark like, yo, I hate this shit. Like, I cannot do another day of this. Yeah. You as his dad, you about to tell him like, no, you signed a 6-year contract, you gotta stay in it.
See, that's where if we talking about mental health stuff, that's different because I don't have anything to do with it. I'm gonna send you to get help. And then let those people make the decision to get you out of the Navy and all that type of stuff. Which is a way. It's happening for people. What I'm saying is, from a leader, when you say mental health to me, my hands are.
What if it's not mental health, bro? Like, what if you realize that, yo, I want to go to college? Like, there's nothing wrong with my mental health. Don't want to do this.
Well, ain't you could, but see, ain't nothing we can do about that. Mm-hmm. What can we do? We could tell them, right now, it's no way they signed that contract. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm getting at is like I would like to get them out and let them go to college, let them do this stuff. But if you have it's just because, you know what I mean? I have no way of right now getting them out of the Navy just because they want to get out. If that was the case, bro, we'll have nobody in the first 5 years. In today's Navy,
it's not true. Shit. I don't think that's true. I don't think that we're targeting. It's a whole nother conversation. I don't think we're targeting. And that's why in that other podcast, I said the military should be generally comprised of like people that like is willing to kill and die for the country. Right. People that's willing to accept that risk, that it's a chance that they could kill and die for the country. I don't think that, in my own personal thought, I don't know that we're targeting like the right demographic. And I have another personal thought that like the military looks a complete different way if we were. Like if we was targeting people that's willing to put their life on the line, like for our country and take somebody else's life, you know, if that was what was called for in that moment, I don't think the military looks like it looks right now. And I asked a friend, some of this stuff I don't want to talk about on a podcast, but I asked a friend of mine and then I was like, how do you think the military would look if we was recruiting the people that's willing to, and he said how it would look. And I was like, yeah, like that's exactly, you know, how it would look. That's exactly the demographic that the military would have. I believe that or whatever like that. But, you know, because I think if you're willing to kill and you're willing to die for our country, they two big decisions. Two very big decisions, you know, so I think your motivations are different then. You know, so when you go somewhere and it's a person, you know, that you have a big issue with, you know, and this is not 100% scope, you know, because things could change. But, you know, some of these things you're not that focused on, because my main focus on is when it's time to kill for this country, I'm doing it. And when it's time to put my life on the line for this country, I'm doing it. That's why I signed up to join our military, is to protect the American people or whatever like that. I don't know everybody joined for that. I know people might have joined for people might have joined for college, joined because it wasn't no other option, joined for benefits, joined for this, joined for that. Like how many people in the military we know that joined to serve the country? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, out of everybody, look, I'm going to tell you right now, and you make a great point. I won't take away from that. But how many people have you seen, heard of when they ask you, like somebody, it could be your CDB, and they ask the sailor, hey, why did you join the Navy? I guarantee you, it may be 1 out of freaking 100 may say, I joined to die for my country and serve and all this. No one's saying that.
No. Not a lot. Yeah. Like it's like college.
Stuff like that. It's always stuff like that.
Yeah. So that means that in my thought process, that means it's a big part of the decision making process that wasn't there. Like the option that the option of the will to live or die for to kill or die for the country was that.
Yeah.
Did you how much of that did you factor in?
Did we ask that question too?
That's my thought process. Like how much of that did you really factor in? So we do these heroes of the week. These people that committed to the cause. And some of these people might not have necessarily signed up with those intentions, but when the time came, they, made that decision.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people we have that's willing to. So that's all goes into my thoughts, right? And I know I can't project it right on the scope of this podcast because we got to talk about a million different things, right? But I don't think that we should lock people into things when they don't really value it anymore, and they probably won't add value to it anymore. That's just my own thought. If you realize in 3 years, this is bullshit. I'm just here to I'm going to get my pen still, but I'm just here to do whatever I want to do until it's time to get out. I'm not really going to add anything to our military. Like my mom and my little cousin. Okay, well, just go, But like you said, the delicate dance there is like you said, which I can't argue, is if that's the case, then how many people do we lose in our first year or two? We lose a lot of people like that, But then, like I said, who are we looking for in the military? We giving away $25,000 for whoever wants the money? Who we gonna get like that? But that's my thoughts on that. And I know a lot of people disagree. I know a lot of people disagree with me. I know a lot of people. I was talking to one of my junior sailors a long time ago, and she was talking about a sailor that and that's why I can't not keep the same energy. But she was talking about a sailor that was getting decided to leave or something like that, or did something to leave before the contract was over. And she was like, that's cowardly. She should have wrote her contract out. And I'm like, well, at the end of the day, who's the real judge of any of this, of her life? Is it her? Is it you? Who's the real judge of her happiness, her life, and what kind of gives her energy and, stuff like that? Because it might not be mental health today, but it could be mental health next year 2 of you being somewhere that you don't want to be. It's a lot of things that come along with requirements that come along with being in the military. And one of them in my thought process is respecting, rank, so respecting rank is one of them things that you kind of got to do it. You know what I'm saying? In a way. We choose to do it, but it's a way some of these juniors, they kind of have to do it. They might be somewhere else, and they might if it was not in the military, somebody might have got punched in the face 3 months ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when you're dealing with that and you're dealing with the realism of I don't want to be here, and then you still making a choice to be all right, I got this asshole LPO every day that I just want to smack one time or whatever like that. That's going to be a harder decision not to do that every day for the 3 years that that you didn't want to be here no more. So it might be an incident waiting to happen. But that's my thought, Damon. I know you don't agree 100% with what I'm saying. And I know a lot of people.
No, look, I actually in a crazy way agree a little bit, because I only reason I say that is because I think it should be a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But my thought process is it's not.
It's not a way. So it's
not a way. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing I got. I mean, I most definitely, man, it's you're right. If everybody know it costs a lot of money to put a sailor through a lot of schools, a lot of this stuff. If you get out or whatever, you're going to have to pay that stuff back. And I think that should be something that was written probably in their contract. If you get out before this time, you know what I mean? Yeah, you owe us. Ass. You know what I mean? Type of stuff.
On your ass. Because you did sign a contract. So you owe us. We on your ass. You could get out. But if you get out, you paying us. We taking half of your paycheck. Whatever it is. And that's me saying that with the thought process that I would write out the contract. I would due to my own personal principles of who I am as a person. I will ride out the contract no matter how hard it is, or like for me, I'll find the goodness in it and ride it out. So that's me, me saying that.